Hi, in today's video I want to give you guys 10 advanced tips and tricks for Usenet users. The first one is to filter your files. What I mean by that is when you download an NZB, you get a certain files. This is what you want. But since Usenet is not moderated, sometimes what can happen is you download an NZB, but you get a virus instead. This is extremely rare, but I've seen it happen. Sometimes you also download an NZB, you get the file that you want, but you also get the virus. And since most of the time getting an NZB is automated, you will never realize that you've downloaded this file, and this can stay on your server, and maybe one day by accident you activate it or somebody else activate it. So this is an issue. And the way you counter that is to have filters. Filters are a way for SAB to automatically detect if what you're downloading is part of your expectation, and if it's not, it's automatically either paused or failed. So the way to activate those filters, you go on SAB, on the top right there's a cog, click on it. At the top you go into switches and you scroll down until you see unwanted extensions, and this is where you input the extensions that you do not want to download. Underneath there's another option to select what happens when SAB detects that you download something that you did not want, and I suggest you put it to pause or to make it an error so you can troubleshoot if you have problems later. Now I've compiled the two lists of extensions. The first one is a blacklist that I will personally use. You have your exe, you have your command, you have your scripts. The other list I have is the whitelist. I did not test this, but this is what I'd use if I were to download what I'd want. And those lists won't be maintained or updated. Check the video description. I will try to update them, but I suggest you do a Google search on more active or up-to-date lists. The tip number 2 is how to rank your indexer priority. So this is my prowler, those are my indexer, and I will teach you how I made my setup. I've seen a lot of debate online, and what I will show you is the best way to do it. So on your left, you'd have at the top your highest priority indexer and your lowest priority indexer at the bottom. The first one you want on top are your paid subscription, which is your yearly or monthly paid subscription. The second layer is going to be your lifetime subscription. And the third one are your free. And you want those two to be separated because what happens is at each year when you have to repay those subscription, you need a way to benchmark them. You need to see if this indexer was good for you or it wasn't, or it was your lifetime doing most of the work and your pay subscription did not do much. If you have those two mixed together in the same bag, you won't be able to make those decisions. And you want obviously your free one at the end so that your free API hits are only registered when both of those fail. So tip number 3 may seem simple, but I've seen so many people fail that I will explain how to avoid it really quickly. And I'm talking about auto renewal that you did not want. So what is the common tactics from providers? They give you a great deal, maybe $20 for a year of providers. And when that year ends, there's an auto renewal and they charge you at a much, much higher price. And how to avoid that? Well, first of all, obviously, you can go directly on the provider page and cancel your renewal there, but a lot of people seem to fail at that. So what I like to do personally, I like to use prepaid card. So if you don't have any funds anymore, you cannot be charged more than you have set into those cards. I like that. The other one that is very important is use your bank app directly or your wallet directly. Where for me, for example, when I use PayPal, they have a subscription page where I can manage all my subscription and my payment there. And it's really the most direct way to make sure that you don't have any huge payments sneaking up your way from providers that are using shady tactics. Tip number 4 is to not forget to delete your SAB test downloads. If you're using SAB benchmark system and you're using your test download here, you can click on any of those 3 buttons and it will download an NZB for you to test your connection and your provider speeds. It's great, but once the test is over and you delete those files using SAB, it doesn't delete them on your hard drive. It's just delete them in your SAB. So don't forget to go into your hard drives and to delete those files. For me, over the years, I've done many testing, and I've realized that I had a lot of space that was used by those big empty files. So don't forget to delete those. So tip number 5 would be to add torrents to your setup. For example, on Prowler, it's extremely simple. It takes maybe 5 and 10 minutes to have this up and running. And you have Usenet, but sometimes for a few content, maybe torrents will be better. It's really not complicated to run both Usenet and a torrent on the same machine, and it can give you many benefits. Just understand that if you're setting up torrents, understand the implication of seeding, so disk usage, ISP, and whatnot. For the tip number 6 is to configure SAB in a way that it will ignore samples. So what you'd go is you go into setting, you go in switches, and you scroll down, and you have an option here that is, for me, sadly, by default left unchecked, and it filters out sample files, so video sample proof. After the download, it will simply scan, they will realize you have sample files, and they would delete them. Sample files, on my opinion, are mostly rare these days. It's more of an old school thing, but it's a really easy settings to activate, and it will save you some space. So tip number 7 is about providers, retries, and wait time. What happens is when you have multiple providers, in my opinion, sometimes you ping the providers to get some content at the provider. Maybe it's their connection, maybe it's your connection, it's a small hiccup. And what happens, those hiccups can happen and your SAB will jump to the next one on your list of priority. And sometimes if your unlimited has a little hiccup, you can jump into your block providers and you can waste your block when simply waiting and retrying your provider will have given you the same results without eating your blocks. So what you'd do is you'd go on SAB, you'd go into settings at the servers, you need to check advanced settings here, and after that you go into show details. And you have those two options if you scroll down. The first one is required. That means if you check this, if you're having connection issue to that provider, it will retry to connect to it for 5 minutes. Here it says for a few minutes, but the reality is 5 minutes. So what happens is I personally check this on my unlimited providers just to make sure that it's not a small glitch in the system and my blocks are not wasted downloading some things that my unlimited providers will be able to provide to me. Timeout is mostly the same things. It's just the timer they use when you have a timeout connections. I would suggest increasing this number if you have connection issue to your provider and you want to protect your blocks. Tip number 8 is SAB max reset speed. So on my setup, what is happening is I have my SAB set up here and I have 115 megabytes per second, but I don't want to max my connection on this servers. So I like to limit it to 80. But I've realized that over the time, this speed limit resets. I don't know why, but over a few days, this is simply reset. And the way I found to fix that is to go into the settings, go into general, tuning, and you have your maximum line speed. So here I'm at 115, and if I want to always cap it to maybe 80 or 90, I'd input this number here and save change. And that way you're never gonna exceed that speed. And that's the best way I found to keep that speed limit on. Tip number 9 can save you a lot of money. It's about the Black Friday deals. The tip is no matter when you are in the year, some Black Friday deals are still going to be active. Even today, what happened is provider post their deal. Some of them are offline, but some of them just stay active through the years. And how you find those threads is you simply go to Google, you type Usenet Black Friday 2025 or whatever year it is, and you go through each deal one by one. And I guarantee you will find deals that are still active. I've been monitoring those Black Friday deals for the last few years, and some of them are constantly active through the years. So I really suggest you look at those threads. If anything, also, this will give you a ballpark of what you should be paying for Usenet. Yes, Black Friday deals are the best deals. For example, you can find Usenet providers for $20 for an entire year, but maybe the rest of the year, instead of paying 20, you're going to pay 30, 40. But it's going to give you an idea that maybe for the rest of the year, if a provider is suggesting you're paying 80 or 90 bucks for the providers, it's not a great deal. So I really suggest you look into Black Friday deals, even if it's not Black Friday. And that brings us to tip number 10, which is subscription stacking. The problem is most deals posted are 15-month deals. Now, this is no coincidence. What happens is you buy the deal on Black Friday, which is in November, 15 months go by, and then when it's time to renew, you are in January. As I said, some deals are still active, some deals are not. So what happened is you're kind of trapped to renew into an off season when it comes to deal, so you don't have as many choices. What people have been doing is called subscription stacking. It's very simple. Is you buy 4 times the deal, and what that gives you is you buy 4 times on Black Friday, which is subscription stacking. That gives you 60 months, which is exactly 5 years. And that means when it's times to renew your subscription again, you're going to be on Black Friday again. You're landing back exactly on the same day that you bought it. So the odds are you're landing back in November on Black Friday, and you're having a great set of deals for you on your renewal. Now, this is, of course, a gamble. Paying 5 years in advance is a gamble, mostly on Usenet, on torrents, and whatnot. So keep that in mind. This is not really intended when they don't really want you to subscription stack. They still allow it, but I think this will be eventually removed. But as of today, it's a great way to get a good deal. And this concludes my 10 tips video. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you can leave a comment with ideas that you'd want me to cover on my Usenet videos, feel free to do so. And if you would like to like and subscribe, I have a few videos coming up that you will most certainly find interesting. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.